So I don't know if you read The Week. Check this out. This magazine right here, The Week, sums up all the week's news. It's handy. Like, you're not into watching the nightly news. You're not into like checking out the news on a daily basis. Get this magazine, man. Tie you into everything. So I was reading it last night. These come quick though. I mean, they're literally weekly, so you got to keep up on it fast because I've already got this week's sitting in my dining room, so I had to fly through it, But I was reading the art section here in The Week, and look, Jackson Pollock's doing well, he's not doing a show, but there's an exhibition on Jackson Pollock stuff over at the Guggenheim through September 29th. So if you're in New York, check it out because I hear it's pretty good. But it got me thinking about Jackson Pollock, and it started pissing me off because Jackson Pollock was a raging alcoholic, except for 2 years, between 1956 and 1958. And those were the years that he created those big drip paintings. Those you've seen them. They're just super famous, and everybody walks around and they're like, "Oh, I could do that," and you could do it. Actually, it's fun. I recommend it. Just get a turkey baster and get some house paint and some canvas and start turkey basting paint onto a canvas. It's super fun. But the point is that it was an evolution of where art was going and abstract art, and so it fit nicely into the evolution of the American art scene. And Jackson Pollock was one of probably the first true great American artist. Born here, American artist, and fucked it all up. Was sober for 2 years, went back into his banal paintings. He painted some, but none of those caught on. You never really see a lot of Jackson Pollock pieces before 1956. It was just those drip paintings when he was sober. And I think about that because that was a benchmark for me, that if I could go 2 years, I could stick it to Jackson Pollock for not drinking and smoking. And I'm coming up on July 9th, which was that'll be 3 years for me for not drinking, smoking, and drinking coffee. So I feel like I can get to that point, and then I can really screw Jackson Pollock. But the thing of the matter is, it started really pissing me off because Jackson Pollock, okay, he's like our first great hope and for being a true American, born, raised American, great artist caliber. There are other artists that it's certainly debatable, but this guy was in the bleeding edge of the art movement of the time. He was our hope, and he just screwed it all up. He couldn't stay sober for more than 2 years to keep painting. I mean, that bottle was more important to him. His sorry ass, wimpy, weak self was like more important to him than doing anything worthwhile. It was, his life wasn't more important to him. His wife wasn't more important to him. The fact of where he was in the American art scene wasn't important to him. Nothing was important to him. Just the fact that he could get back on that bottle. He went like 700 days not drinking, and then finally, he's like, "Oh, that's enough, man. I've done it." And it pissed me off. And the same with Jean-Michel Basquiat, an artist in the 80s, first great American black artist, and very interesting art. You might know Keith Haring. They were friends, probably lovers, and Basquiat's art is much more interesting than Keith Haring. Keith Haring died of AIDS, unfortunately, but Basquiat, heroin overdose. That cat. The only interesting thing about his heroin addiction was that he was, really rich. He could pump out a painting in a day and sell for hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. So he had a runner for heroin go over to Amsterdam. Okay, in the 80s, if you could do all the heroin you could possibly do, how much do you think it would cost you? How much? $400,000. That's what he spent 1 year on heroin. So that's good to know. That's what primo heroin's going to run you in the 80s. I don't know what a total addiction to heroin would cost you these days, but that, that's what it cost then. So, but anyway, yeah, he's a dick too, because he totally effed up. So yeah, he died of a heroin addiction. Pollock died of an alcohol. Stupid ran his car into a tree or something like that. You maybe saw the movie. They're all dicks. Assholes.